Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Wray, I want to thank you for appearing before us today and also for your service to the nation. As I was preparing for this hearing, I researched hate crimes data for my state of Georgia, and I was troubled by the data that I found, or more precisely, what I didn't find. We clearly have a deeply flawed system for collecting hate crimes data, which has left us with unreliable and incomplete counts. The hesitation to report, investigate, and designate incidents as hate crimes demonstrates a deep-rooted failure of our justice system. One thing is clear. Since the start of the pandemic, we've seen a significant rise in anti-Asian and anti-Chinese rhetoric. And in March of this year, 8 people were tragically murdered in a mass shooting in Atlanta, and 6 of those individuals murdered were women of Asian descent. At a press conference the next day, a police official famously told those assembled that the shooter had, quote, had a bad day, end quote. And Director Wray, 2 days after the murders, you said in an interview with NPR, quote, while the motive remains still under investigation at the moment, it does not appear that the motive was racially motivated, end quote. Many people believe, Director Wray, that law enforcement reluctance to designate a homicide as a hate crime does a disservice to the victims and fails to prevent similar future crimes. Certainly, comments such as yours during an ongoing investigation do not help the cause. Wasn't it inappropriate for you, sir, to infer to the press that you didn't believe that the murders of the 6 Asian women was a hate crime when, as you said, the motive was still under investigation?
Well, certainly, as you know, Congressman, because that's my home city as well, my heart aches for the victims of that attack, and I grieve with their families. In the instance in question, I think the comment I made was consistent with the information we had at the time. But I regret if anyone's reaction to that was otherwise.
Well, I submit to you, sir, that such comments by the director of the FBI were not only harmful to the ongoing investigation, but also diminished already waning community confidence in law enforcement. I want to shift now to another issue. Under current law, only those convicted of domestic terrorism-related felonies or hate crimes are prohibited from possessing firearms, but those convicted of misdemeanors that have a nexus to domestic terrorism or misdemeanor hate crimes may possess firearms without restriction. Would you agree that Congress should consider expanding the prohibition on the possession of firearms to those convicted of violent misdemeanors that are related to domestic terrorism and are violent hate crimes?
Well, I don't think I'm in a position as FBI director to comment on specific legislative proposals, but I'm happy to provide operational input to you if, or have the FBI do so with your staff. Certainly, I share the goal of making sure that those who are prohibited by law from possessing firearms don't get their hands on the firearms, and certainly to the extent that there are things that can be done to protect the public, we want to do that. That's why our NICS section up in West Virginia processed, and last year processed, I think, a record almost 40 million background checks of firearms right through the middle of the pandemic. So we are trying to do our part to make sure that the laws on the books related to firearms are enforced and that those who are not supposed to have firearms don't get them. Individual states have individual laws.
Let me stop you there. I got one more issue I want to talk about. When you were here last year, you mentioned the creation of the Domestic Terrorism Hate Crimes Fusion Cell. Can you provide us with some insight into how the Fusion Cell operates? And to be clear, is it just one cell or are there multiple cells?
I appreciate very much the question. So this is something I stood up about a year and a half or so ago. bringing together the domestic terrorism expertise that we have together with the hate crimes expertise which we have, which is more in the civil rights program. And together, the goal was to try to be more proactive and to try to do a better job of anticipating and preventing hate crimes. And so, for example, we're very proud of the success that that cell helped create in Colorado, where we were able to prevent an attack, a hate crime against a synagogue. I've forgotten the city in Colorado, but that was a big part of what came out of that fusion cell. The fusion cell is one cell in headquarters, but it works with all of our field offices and helps coordinate that effort. And again, the whole goal is to try to be ahead of the threat. That's the point of it.
Gentleman's time has expired.